Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter, and I have been your beat reporter covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for Sports Illustrated every single day since August 2019, and we are continuing to march through yet another offseason together. As always, Jaguars on SI is your best stop for all Jacksonville Jaguars news and analysis. Jaguars on SI delivers you by far the most comprehensive Jaguars coverage you will find anywhere, whether it be locally or even nationally. We deliver you, the fans, double-digit pieces of content every single day. And every day, the Jaguars have their doors open at the Miller Electric Center facility in Everbank Stadium here in Jacksonville. We are there, boots on the ground. Whether it's at Jaguars practices, in the locker room, press conference, in the offseason, and especially on game day. We are always there to give you an inside look of your favorite team. So don't forget that you can follow us on social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, at Jaguars on SI. And you can also find us at www.si.com/NFL/Jaguars. And most importantly, never forget, all of our content is 100% free for you, the faithful fans of Duval. Welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. We only have a few more free agents to talk about. We've gone over De'Ami Brown, Patrick McCarry, Robert Hainsey, Nick Mullins, Jordan Lewis, and Eric Murray. And today we will start to move on to the pair of tight ends that the Jaguars signed. Among those tight ends, the one who's most interesting to me from a ceiling perspective is Hunter Long. Hunter Long, they acquired on a very small, minuscule type deal. It's not something that's going to move the needle in terms of cap space. But I do think this is a scenario where the Jaguars can potentially really benefit as long as they help him reach his potential. He was a third-round pick, number 81 overall by the Dolphins in 2021. And after 2 years with them, he was traded along with a third-round pick, which the Rams turned to Byron Young for Jalen Ramsey. And then this year signs a 2-year, $5 million contract with the Jaguars. Now, Hunter Long has always been a player who the idea of him perhaps sounds better than what the actual product has been. He's faced a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries throughout his career that I believe have been, more detrimental to him than anything that he's actually done on the field. He came out of school with a, solid relative athletic score, 8.61, had a really good speed score, good size, good explosion. Wasn't the most agile guy, but overall, definitely somebody who brought some upside, some athleticism to the position. Now, in his career, he's only seen 12 targets in his whole career. He has 8 catches for 68 yards in his career. Most of those came last year with the Rams, 7 catches for 60 yards. But last year was the first time he played a full 17-game season. In his first year, he played 7 games. Second year, 9 games. Third year, only 4 games. And then last year, he was able to play a full season. And while he wasn't obviously a focal point of the passing game, he played a career high of snaps by far. 279 snaps. He had never cracked 93 snaps in a season before. So I think you're starting to see him kind of develop more now that he's healthy and come into his own. And while he wasn't a part of the passing game, he was a big part of what they did in the running game. He's a very talented inline blocker. You can send him in motion and have him, wham block defensive tackles. He can handle defensive ends. He's one of the last year, just if you're going purely by production as a blocker, his win rate, his blocking grade from Pro Football Focus was one of the better blockers in the NFL last season from the tight end position. So I think what the Jaguars have in him is they have somebody who he's a big unknown as a pass catcher, but at the very least, they get a cheap 2-year deal on a young, athletic tight end who's a very efficient and productive run blocker and pass protector. If they can potentially unlock his ceiling somehow. And you guys have heard my opinions on the tight ends in the Liam Cohen offense. I don't believe that they're going to be a big focal point by any measure. Brenton Strange will obviously get the most looks of any tight end in the group. Hunter Long, I don't expect him to see a lot of targets. But I do think there's a chance that they're buying low at the right time on a high ceiling guy. I think Hunter Long will be the number 2 tight end this season. I think he's going to make a difference as a blocker. And if all goes right, maybe they can unlock something in him as a pass catcher, whether that's by circumstance, need, etc. I'll say this, Rich Angulo has done a good job developing tight ends in Jacksonville. Did great work with Evan Ingram. Great work with Brenton Strange last year. Luke Farrell obviously just got paid a huge deal by San Francisco, so he must have put some good things on tape for them to like. So this is personally, in my opinion, one of the potentially better signings the Jaguars made this offseason. I'm very interested to see how Hunter Long continues to develop in the Jaguars offense and franchise overall. That's all I have for y'all for today's episode. As always, my name is John Shipley. I'll be back next time.